Hi there, this is Pearson Brown. I'm talking about presentations again today, in particular on the subject of fear and how to eliminate some of your fears. I think the first point to stress is that we're all scared when we give presentations. I know nobody who isn't scared when they give a presentation. I think that is in many ways a good thing. I think the people who are too relaxed about it are the ones who don't treat their audience with enough respect. So, in many ways, I wouldn't worry at all about the fact that you are stressed. Don't be scared of being scared, because we all are. However, at the same time, over the next few slides, I'm just going to sort of give you some hints about ways in which you can reduce some of the fears which you have about presentations. Very simple ideas which really will make the whole experience a lot better for you. Okay, a very simple idea first, but one which causes loads of speakers loads of problems, and that's just simply that as you get up to speak you'll find that your mouth will go completely dry. Okay, it's just fear. It's an occasion when you'd much rather fly out the room than stay there, but you have to get on and do it. So it's clearly, make sure before you start to speak, just make sure you have a glass of water somewhere near you that you can empty as quickly as you need to. More generally, you should make sure that you drink water beforehand. Make sure that your mouth is really moist, because you're going to need it, because it will start to dry. Don't drink so much that you have a sudden desperate need to go to the bathroom halfway through your presentation, but make sure you drink enough water. And I stress it's water, not alcohol. Many people believe that having a stiff drink beforehand is a way of getting through a presentation, but it's not. It dulls your approach to the presentation, and if anything it'll make you more thirsty, make your mouth more dry during the presentation. That's not the way to go. Water is the way to go. Okay. Well, we've all had a moment at some point in our career when our mind just goes completely blank and we just can't remember what it is we're trying to say. I must say, as I get older I seem to have more of these, but everybody suffers from these occasionally. And there's no secret. It's rehearsal. If you rehearse and rehearse again and rehearse again and rehearse again and rehearse again, your presentation will be better. You're much less likely to have your mind go blank. If at all possible, rehearse in the room when you're going to give your presentation. That makes you feel much more at ease if you can do that. Now, it's not always possible, but if it is possible, for goodness sake, take advantage of it and do it. Okay. Now, I don't know what your feeling is about having a written copy of your presentation near you. I personally don't write out my presentations. I personally use cue cards. But have something written near you that you can go back to if your mind goes completely blank. I think you're much less likely to get scared if you know that written material is there, even if you're very unlikely to have much need to go near it. But make sure you have something. Also make sure about the photo. This, I know, may sound a bit new age and corny, but it's true. When you need reassurance, there's nothing better than glancing down and finding a photo of something you really like, be it your dog, your car, or whether it's going to be your children or your partner, or I don't know what, a beautiful view. But just have something that you like, that you can relax by looking at, something in the room which is definitely you. Okay, right, a bored audience, not much fun really. Often people are bored and it's got nothing to do with you. Perhaps it's a hot stuffy room, they've been stuck in there for 7 hours without a break. You don't know the situation necessarily and why they're bored. Perhaps they just don't like coming to meetings. But the most important thing that you can do is to be enthusiastic. Because if you're enthusiastic, there is a chance, I won't say it will happen, but there's a chance your enthusiasm will convey itself to your audience. Also, it helps maintaining good eye contact with all the people in the audience. Look people straight in the eyes. When you've done that, you will establish empathy with them, and people will then be much more on your side and much more likely to be active within the audience to try and help you along. Okay, but recognize that sometimes what you're saying is boring to your audience. Sometimes you're just giving too much detail that they don't want to hear. Just because it interests you doesn't necessarily mean it interests the audience. So always be prepared to move on in your presentation, to cut out a section if you think you've lost the audience. Okay. Oh, the nightmare we all have is that visual aids don't work. And usually when that happens, it's because of something that has got nothing to do with you and is down to the technicians or whoever's organising the conference or wherever it is. But make sure you know how all the visual aids work. Don't be caught out because you can't use the light pen or because you don't know how to move the slides on or something like that. If it's something within your control, master it well beforehand. We talked about bored audiences, but sometimes, in fact, the audiences are actively hostile. I mean, I suppose that's worse than them being quiet and bored, really. Okay, now, the first important thing is to stay calm and courteous at all times. If you try to descend into a slangy match, even if people have been rude to you, you've lost everybody. You must stay calm and courteous at all times. Now, the biggest thing to try and do is when you're preparing is to try and work out what you're saying in that might be as controversial as to create this environment. So anticipate your objections in advance where possible and try to find counters to them. Okay, but sometimes something comes up that you weren't anticipating, and then you need time to think. And the technique here is quite simple. You ask the audience what they think, and whilst they're debating this question for say 2, 3, 4 minutes, it gives you a chance to just sit back and think about what your reply is. That will enable you to respond calmly, courteously, and rationally, which is what you want to do. I hope these few tips have helped. I think the key factor is be prepared. If you're prepared, a lot of potential things, problems which will cause you fear and anxiety will go away, and that's what you need.